Alex Van Pelt just hit the podium.
Oh.
Drake Maye will be starting for sure.
Lame.
Alex Van Pelt on Drake Maye. He'll be starting the game for sure. Multiple beat Reese, Perry, bunch of the beat writers had it. He just said it.
You could play him a series, and then you could sit him down.
Well, that's a good point.
You could do that. You could preseason game
as long as Josh Allen's in there, he's out there.
Yeah, Josh is out. Drake, you're out.
Yeah, you're out.
Match him up that way. Yeah, that seems to me like a mistake. Now, don't get me wrong. You've lost plenty of games with Drake Maye. This doesn't mean you're going to win the game and fall in the draft. Like, you can have your best effort against the twos of Buffalo.
You can lose
still
to Buffalo's twos, 100%.
Easily.
Yes.
So this isn't a be-all, end-all. I think this is dumb. We've taken calls since week 1 about them tanking. Like, week 1 being like, they should tank. And you and I were both like, no, they really shouldn't do that yet. But talk to me December, January, or talk to me when there's even a couple game scenario. But now when it's down to one game, literally one game, to go from the number 1 pick to who knows what with the tiebreakers, right? 4th, I think, is as low as they can go.
Yes, because Detroit won on Monday. I don't understand all the
It's all
the
strength
math,
of schedule and
but
stuff.
Because Detroit won, the lowest they can pick is 4. Or, you know what I mean? The farthest they can slide is to 4.
Like, it's so dumb to me. It's not even really up for discussion because if you see in any given year what it would take to move up from 4 to 1 or what you would get if you move down from 1 to 4.
It's significant.
Yeah. And so
probably.
But if you go out there and win one on Sunday and then, like, what does that do? What does that accomplish? I hate the culture. No, that's a year of tanking, which teams don't do outside of the Colts for Andrew Luck. Teams don't really tank for a full year. The Commanders tanked last year at the trade deadline when they got rid of their best pass rushers and they ended up getting the number 2 pick, and I think they're happy with it.
Yes.
And now they're in the playoffs, for God's sakes. So, no,
what good did the tanking and the culture do there? Yeah.
We've joked about must-lose games before. There's been must-lose games for other teams. You know, those years when the Celtics were fighting at the lottery, there were must-lose games. This is the most must-lose game you can possibly have.
Yeah,
this is throw the ball in the stands.
None.
This is like tackle yourself on offense. This is get out of the way on defense. This is the most cut and dry, do not win the game.
Van Pelt added on, by the way. So again, Van Pelt is talking right now. Drake Maye will be starting the game, quote unquote, for sure, is what Alex Van Pelt says. Jeez. Should we take that to the bank, number 1?
No.
Van Pelt also said they're not going to do design runs with him, and then the next week they're out there doing design runs.
Yeah.
Gerard Mayo said they were going to start Antonio Gibson, and they started Ramondre Stevenson.
He didn't know Marcus Jones played offense, so I wouldn't really take anything to the bank. Mayo could change his. Oh, also, Mayo might have told Van Pelt he's starting, so then Van Pelt goes up there, he's like, he's starting, and then Mayo could talk to him after lunch and be like, he's not.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, what am I going to do?
I also would allow for this. Van Pelt's getting fired either way. It sounds like this could be insubordination.
True.
This could just be
like, he should start.
He should start.
Van Pelt's trying to win the game because he's like, why do I want the number 1 pick? I'm not even going to work with him. I'm not even going to be here.
I will not be here. I want to win the game.
Yeah.
He did follow up, and maybe there's more after this, but his follow-up, he was asked if Maye will play the entirety of the game. He said, we're playing the game to win the game. Yes, that's the intent.
It's a mistake.
Then I'm reading Phil Perry here, some editorializing. He says he did say they'll see how it goes.
Okay.
So perhaps some wiggle room for less than a full complement of snaps. But
That'd be
again,
good.
he said he is starting the game for sure.
Joe Milton.
Well,
let's see Joe Milton.
That was a fun topic that came up while we were out.
Joe Milton did take non-scout team reps at practice yesterday.
Let's get it.
No brainer.
Bazooka
if it's
Joe.
not Maye, it's Bazooka Joe.
Oh, my God.
No
if I
brainer.
could see Brissett one more time, I would have climbed to the tallest building.
You see this other story that came up while we were out that Jacoby Brissett is apparently still a captain, but he no longer has the C on his jersey.
Yeah, that was so strange. And they asked Mayo about it, and he's like, yeah, I don't know. They're like, so was that just a mistake? Sure. Like, wait. So Brissett had that thing a couple weeks ago, remember, where he's like,
I would have ripped the C. He's a bad teammate. I've said this about him almost the entire year.
I think they did, but they don't want to talk about it.
Jacoby Brissett is a bad not only is he not ideal to usher in a young quarterback, he is a bad teammate. I would have taken the C away from him.
You know, as a quick aside, the only guy who might actually be a good backup quarterback teammate? Marcus Mariota.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see him the other day hyping up Jaden Daniels before So before Jaden Daniels won the game, whatever their last game was, they're like during like a timeout, and like Marcus Mariota went over there, like calmed him down and like told him what to do basically, and like got him back out there, and he like threw game-winning touchdown. Mariota seems like the one guy that everybody wants every veteran quarterback to like. Well,
although didn't Mariota go AWOL a couple of years ago when he was benched by the Falcons? Didn't he just like leave the team?
Maybe.
Did he? I think so. I only remember.
Maybe he learned from that. Maybe he went for like a nice
grown.
like nature walk, and now he came back and he's like, I cleared my head.
I think.
Maybe he did. I don't remember that.
I just remember it from that Netflix quarterback show.
Oh, he just took a walk?
I think he just legit left in the middle of the year.
All right.
But maybe he's learned.
He might have been dealing with stuff we don't know about.
Yeah, that's true, Keith.
You know?
That's true. You never know what people are dealing with. That is true. A few more items here from Van Pelt. This is what Nick was just saying. Joe Milton did. Van Pelt indicated that Joe Milton took starter snaps because Drake Maye was limited yesterday. So it will not be Brissett.
Good.
If Maye doesn't go or can't go.
Also, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, Alex Van Pelt, when we're talking about this, like running, not running, QB sneak, not QB sneak, didn't he say keeping Drake Maye safe is the most important goal?
Something
I forget
like
how
that.
he framed it, but even you and I were like, well, isn't like playing well and winning more important? Like this was a month ago. And if protecting him is the most important thing, and you have one game to go, and it greatly benefits your franchise to lose the game, greatly benefits your franchise to lose the game. And he just got hurt last game.
Yeah.
And now you're going to play him? Like, how does that make him healthier?
I wouldn't play him, but if you're going to play him, give him a quarter, maybe. I don't even understand the risk in that. But go ahead, or I'm sorry, I don't agree with the risk that would put him out there and get another head injury, blow out his ACL, some sort of catastrophic injury.
Yeah.
I wasn't afraid to play him and put him in bubble wrap all year, but with one game to go, where, as you said, it greatly benefits you to lose, I'd like to see a lot of Joe Milton out there.
Is there any benefit to just giving him as many like starter reps as possible, or just, you can't, in the offseason, you can't duplicate an NFL season. So is there any point to, I know it's only 1 week, but it's like, hey, you're going to go through this week of practice.
Yeah.
And then you're even going to show up on game day, go through your game day routine,
yeah,
maybe play like a little bit. Like, there's probably better than being like, you're done for the year, like shutting them down. Like, you can do that, but I don't want him playing 4 quarters.
Yeah, fine. So if you feel like there is benefit in getting him more reps and prepping for a team and going through the whole thing, give him a quarter. Yeah. Give him a couple series. Treat it, as you said, like a preseason game. Hell, you can even keep his starting streak intact like Josh Allen wants to do. But, yeah, I do not want him out there if the game hangs in the balance at the end.
It doesn't make any sense.
Speaking of hanging in the balance, Van Pelt was also asked about his job security.
Oh, boy.
He said, quote, "This is the business. We all signed up for it. The thing I can hang my hat on is this team has played hard."
Okay.
Which no, they haven't. They have not. Last week, I think, was an indication that they are no longer playing. 2 of their last 3. The Buffalo game in the middle, they actually played hard for a half.
Yeah.
The Arizona game and this Chargers game were embarrassing. Real quick, those were not guys playing.
Yeah, he's gone. Real quick, Phil Perry spoke briefly about the growth he's made and where he could get better.
Oh, Van Pelt?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
When it comes to improvements, he says he starts with bad calls he's had, and he highlights the fumbled pitch last week. Quote, "That was a tough one. Put those guys in a tough spot." That play was insane. Even the guy, even was it Chris Rose?
Yeah.
Ripped him. He's like,
what is this?
Maybe like hang on to that one. Or like he had some line where he just like torched him.
That was, I already forgot. That was Ross Tucker too, right?
Oh, maybe it was Ross Tucker.
Ross Tucker, who is going to be on WEI Afternoons. He has not held back on the Patriots. I've actually enjoyed that.
Yep.
Some of the games he's had, it takes being the Patriots and getting some of these games. Yeah. But some of the games he's had, he's ripped into the Pats in these games.
They were crushing that play call.
So Van Pelt is continuing to talk. If everything goes according to plan, we not have confirmation on this. If everything goes according to plan, next up in our coordinator series.
Do you think we get him?
Because on Friday they talked to Jeremy Springer, not Jaden Springer.
Both
Jeremy Springer on Friday.
Yeah.
Either one would have been a good get.
Yeah.
Next up in the pecking order in our coordinator series is Alex Van Pelt tomorrow. No confirmation from the team we're getting him, but we should get him.
You think we'd get him? Well, yeah, his press conference today. Yeah, we'll get him.
I mean, we should. We should.
I know, but we should have a couple times before. We didn't.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, we
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But I don't know what benefit he's going to get from it. But if he does, we'll put him in the hot seat tomorrow. 617-779-7937. Mark is in Medford. Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, good morning, guys. So coming soon to a theater near you would be the 3rd installment of Dumb and Dumber, but only it's going to be Dumb, Dumber, and Dumbest, starring Mayo, Van Pelt, and Wolf. Okay? For 5 weeks, guys, they kept on telling us, no, we're not going to start May because our offensive line pretty much sucks, and we don't want him to get hurt. Well, he's almost been concussed twice, and now you're saying he has a hurt hand, and now you want to play him in a game that makes no difference at all to anybody, okay, except for the first-round pick, which they should lose this game purposely just for the hell of it.
Okay, so that is a good point. You just brought up Van Pelt saying the main goal is to protect him. This is another good point. they didn't throw him out there because they didn't want to get him killed to start the year.
Yeah.
And now they're going to throw him out there at the end of the year?
Finish strong.
For a meaningless game?
With a hand and head injury?
Makes no sense.
Don't really
Did you think they should have put him back in the game on Saturday?
I
mean, sorry, not put him back in the game, but left him out there as long as they did. They should have put him back in, but should they have left him out there as long as they did?
No. So I'm with you. I probably would have, if he got cleared, I probably would have tossed him back in there. But then, like, I don't know, at what deficit do you say enough's enough? And, you know,
before they took him out, I can tell you that.
Yeah, he probably got an extra couple of series than he probably needed to have. The game was a little lopsided.
But if nothing else, it's inconsistent.
Yeah. Oh, well, of course it is.
And stay tuned for Dumb and Dumber 3 in theaters soon.
Yeah.
Let's go to Justin in North Carolina. Hello, Justin.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for taking the call. How are you?
Good.
Good. Just wanted to touch on the Travis Henry point. Hunter Henry, I get them mixed up all the time. Hunter, thank you.
Yeah, Travis Henry, a lot of kids.
Oh, yeah.
So many kids.
Good back.
Good back for a while.
Solid
Yeah.
back.
Buffalo, Tennessee.
Yep.
Good random football player of the day.
Yeah. Well, we have missed on drafts and receiver positions just as long as practically I've been alive, and I am an entitled, spoiled Boston sports fan that's seen a championship practically every year. But moving forward, let's just get let's just get May his Jamar Chase here. Let's not mess with it. Stick at one, pick the kid, and move forward. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry to cut off the
How
tail
about
end.
that?
Who is the number one? It's Travis Hunter? Is he the number one receiver to you in the draft?
Yeah, to me he is. I would take him one, and I know everyone's so against it. I would try playing both ways, not 100% of the snaps and things like that, but it's one of the reasons why he's great. He's a great defensive player. He's a great wide receiver. I would try to have him do both. But anyway, just for the sake of Drake Maye, I would team him up with him. But he does bring up an interesting point. Let's say you really want him. Let's say hypothetically Elliott Wolf and the Patriots really want him, and you get a big offer, but you got to move down to like 6. So now you went from having the number one pick to now getting maybe your third favorite prospect or something like that. Like, I wonder, is there any point to just staying on the board and taking him?
Well, I don't like Hunter as much as you, but if they do, yes.
Or let's say
if they like Hunter, they should not be
who's your favorite player in the draft? I know that we got months to do this, but just for the sake of argument.
In a vacuum, I would probably take Shador. That doesn't fit for the Patriots.
Okay.
So, like,
favorite non-quarterback?
Who would I take? It probably would be Hunter. And
Okay.
I don't even love it. I don't think it's a great draft.
All right.
I don't love the tackles. Hunter is not my favorite receiver in the draft, but I think there's some benefit to a guy who plays corner there. I can kind of talk myself into Abdul Carter, the edge rusher at Penn State.
But would you be
maybe you're
steamed-
getting a Micah Parsons?
Would you be steamed if they took a Travis Hunter or the best left tackle like Will Campbell or
if they took
whatever,
him where? At
1? Would you be pissed about it?
Yeah, I think I would rather have them trade down. I would rather. I don't love any of those prospects.
Yeah.
Now, look, maybe you draft Banks and he's the next Orlando Pace. Maybe you draft Travis Hunter and he's, the Shohei Ohtani of football.
Yeah.
So, like, there is risk in moving down if you really like the player. I get that. And if they love Travis Hunter, they shouldn't move to 6. You're not going to get him at 6.
Yeah.
So
These people, these Travis Hunter people, we have the guy in the text line saying Travis Hunter is mid.
Yep.
You get people in the Twitch chat saying he's not a number one anything.
Well,
He's pretty damn good.
I disagree with that.
I
don't think he's a number one receiver.
On
but
this team he is.
Well, no, here. But I think he's a safe pick because he's an NFL corner.
Yeah.
And maybe you get the benefit of him playing wide receiver as well. Maybe.
I think he played-
I'm not as sold on him as a receiver.
Okay.
I'm not. But that doesn't mean I'm right.
Yeah.
I liked N'Keal Harry, so what do I know? By the way, he mentioned he's a spoiled Patriots fan, the caller.
Yeah.
You know who agrees with him?
Who's that?
Dietrich Wise, who we also might talk to tomorrow.
Oh, this bothers me.
So Gerard Mayo, there are fire Mayo chants and boos in the game on Saturday. He says, with all respect to Patriot Nation, this friend of the show, Dietrich Wise,
I know.
they're a little spoiled. We don't appreciate the boos. We don't appreciate the outburst against Mayo. If you're a fan, be a fan with us through thick and thin.
So, okay. This really bothers me. And I like Dietrich Wise, friend of the show, as you said.
Yes.
This drives me nuts because if you only cheer, I don't think you're a fan.
No, you're a Cardinals fan. Is what
You're a
St.
Louis Cardinals fan.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Loser fan.
I think you got to be with us the whole time. That is the booing. Those people are there in the seats. They're spending their money, their time to go see you play, and you're horrible. Your team stinks. You're the worst team in the NFL. If you can't boo that, then you can't boo anything. Now, there's a whole different thing when you're talking about, like, crossing the line and saying certain things. But fire Mayo and booing, that's all we're talking about here. That's all that happened. That is so on board. It's not even funny. That makes you a good fan base, in my opinion. People always talk about, like, Boston, New York, Philly. You can hate them, you can love them, whatever. But, like, those fans care. They give a rat's ass. If they didn't care, so I guess Dietrich Wise and other players would just prefer an empty stadium? An empty, quiet stadium?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a good fan base there.
Yeah, if you want no one chanting Fire Mayo and you want no one booing.
Play better.
Yeah, well, then, but then don't let anybody in.
Right.
Because if you're letting in the fans who are paying their money,
Yeah.
they're going to let you know you
Oh,
suck.
we're spoiled. They also haven't won a playoff game since 2018. How long do we have to wait for the team to be good?
Right.
Like, as a fan, the team sucked out loud a year ago. They fired the head coach. They suck even worse this year. So we just, sit on our hands? That really bothers me because, like, as a fan, if you can't boo, you're expected to only enjoy the product at all times. That's insane.
It is. Tomorrow should be a good Patriots Friday. Could be Dietrich.
Why isn't Van Pelt?
Dietrich Wise and Alex Van Pelt.
Yeah.
Wise does not have a contract beyond this year.
No.
Van Pelt looks like he's gone after the year.
Like, dude, calling out the fans is stupid.
Well, you're spoiled.
It's a stupid thing to say.
You're spoiled is what you are, and you shouldn't boo. That's according to Dietrich Wise, not us.
No.
617
Boo away.
779-7937. Josh is in Dallas. Go ahead, Josh.
Hey, nice. Glad y'all took my call.
Yep.
I was with the trade back. I heard you say you don't really like Travis Hunter, but that's the best player in the draft. And on top of that, we're not getting rid of Mayo. We're not going to get rid of Alex Van Pelt or none of the guys in the front office. So I wouldn't trade back at all because we're not doing anything with the picks. They talk about Bill Belichick and what he has done, but we get to these picks and we're not doing nothing with them, and we get a haul of picks. That's why we lost off on Lamb McConkey.
Okay, so this I think is actually a fair point. You brought this up before the show, Keith, and I don't agree with not firing anybody.
Yeah, he says they're all coming back. I can't imagine.
Okay,
that.
but let's say that's the case. Let's say he's right. They're all back. Mayo, Wolf, Van Pelt,
Hell yeah.
Covington. Is that a reason to stay at 1? Because do you trust Elliott Wolf to move back and, like, manipulate the draft board, or do you just trust him to sit there and say, let's drill down on all these top 5 prospects, and this is the guy I like the most? Elliott Wolf's margin for error is less drafting at 1 than moving down to, like, 6 and trying to figure it out.
Man, maybe in a different draft. Maybe if it was a draft where I'm trying to think
There was
like
a clear-cut number 1.
Yeah, not only a clear-cut number 1, but a clear-cut non-quarterback number 1.
Yeah.
If you were in one of those drafts, like, not that Jadeveon Clowney ended up being a guy, but, like, somebody like that, like, or Myles Garrett was the number 1 overall pick, right? Like, somebody like that. Or even one of these hosses. If you want to talk about, like, Orlando Pace draft, and he's there, then, like, yeah, maybe that's what you do. It's the best player, and it's the need. That was sort of like last year's draft. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake Maye. Now, they've all played differently this year, but that was best player meeting team need for all those teams. I know the Bears, had made whatever, but I don't know. I think the safer thing, which obviously Robert and Jonathan would sign off on this, is to trade down and get multiple throws at it. Because if you take one guy and that guy stinks, then, like, you might have to nuke the whole thing if you didn't before.
But as you said, the trade down is exactly what they did with McConkey. Or it was the call. Who said that? Maybe the caller said that.
Yeah.
The idea of trading down will get more draft assets, and we know who we want when we move down.
Yeah.
That has not worked with Elliott Wolf yet.
But trading 34 versus trading 1 is
Very different.
massively
very,
different.
very different.
Yeah.
I agree. The one reason I would advocate to stay at 1, and I want them to trade down, is do you trust Elliott Wolf with pick 1 or do you trust him with pick 6? The real answer is neither.
Yeah.
But which one do you trust him with more? I trust him more with the first pick.